CHYM 96.7 presents The John Tesh Radio Show. Intelligence for your life.
Hey, it's the John Tesh Radio Show. Let's start you off with some conversation-starting intelligence. Did you know we're biologically wired to be attuned to the sounds of a crying baby? Ladies, you knew that, right? It's a built-in mechanism that ensures helpless children will get the care they need. Well, guess what? We now know the same is true for our pets. According to a study from Aarhus University in Denmark, pet owners develop a special sensitivity to the sound of dogs and cats' whines and whimpers and barks and meows. And pet owners rated the sound of a whimpering dog to be just as sad as a crying human baby. Now, because dogs have been living with and domesticated by humans longer than cats, dogs are more effective at conveying distress and negative emotion in their sounds than cats. In fact, dog whines were considered sadder than cat meows across the board, no matter which type of pet a person owned. So if you think your pet sounds sad or in distress, you're probably right, because you're just as in tune with your pet's needs as any other member of your family. And coming up, superhero movies are all the rage these days, so we're going to explore why they're so hot right now. According to clinical psychologist Dr. Robin Rosenberg. Now, here's a hint. It's all about the times we're living in. Stand by. You're listening to CHYM 96.7. I'm John Tesh. Superhero movies are all the rage these days, smashing box office records worldwide. Given I both love these movies. Why are they so hot right now? Well, according to clinical psychologist Dr. Robin Rosenberg, it's because we're living in difficult and uncertain times. With crime and prejudice and financial struggles and terrorism, that leaves us wanting to be entertained and distracted. We're also searching for positive role models and wishing for heroes to swoop in and stop the madness. It's the reason our grandparents loved superhero comics in the 1930s during the Great Depression. Also, today's superhero movies are like the westerns of the 1950s, where you know right off the bat who's good and who's bad, who to root for. Superhero movies are also mostly about saving the little guy. And we see ourselves in superhero stories because most of us believe in fighting for justice. Superheroes often come from tragic beginnings, which inspires us and provides a model to help us cope with adversity. We can find meaning in loss. We can discover our strengths and use them for good. Bottom line here, superhero movies tap into your capacity for empathy, allowing you to take stock of your life and maybe change the path you're on and become a better person for it.
This is the John Tesh Radio Show.
And coming up, most on-the-job injuries are the result of falls and repetitive movements like lifting. But in a moment, I'll share a list of some less common conditions people develop on the job that are just as dangerous. For example, I'll tell you which occupational hazards clergymen, tailors, even horn players face every day.
The John Tesh Radio Show on CHYM 96.7.
This is the John Tesh Radio Show on CHYM 96.7. Oh, Gib, look at this. The formula for decorating a Christmas tree has been discovered from Sheffield University. Formula? I know. It's like there's some physics guys, and they're like, oh, we've got to show you what we got a degree in. Sorry, physics guys. Anyway, so Sheffield University, they said, if you have a 6-foot Christmas tree, okay, then you need exactly 37 ornaments, and you need an angel or a star for the top that's precisely 7 inches high. A 6-foot tree would also need 18 feet and 9 inches of lights and 30 feet of tinsel. And so if you guys want me to send this to you, just email me. It's john@tesh.com.
I want to see the like calculations that went into this optimization. I know that's really nerdy of me, but that is an insane thing to put effort into.
I think it's nerdy of them. I think you're just appreciating.
I know, but I actually can appreciate what this is the optimal thing.
Right.
Well,
you did get a degree in theoretical mathematics from college.
I know, but my deal is with this is that it's one thing. The number of ornaments, the ornaments tell me how many are going to be on the tree. I don't decide because there's 3 kinds of ornaments. There's There's the ones that are actually pretty. There's the filler ornaments like the balls and stuff. And then there is the meaningful ornaments and like that are like for different times in your life.
Right.
And those go on no matter what. So then the filler sort of determines like where the empty parts of the tree are. So I get all that. But what's really useful is how many feet of lights you actually need in order to make the tree properly.
18 feet, 9 inches.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because I always do the first round and it's never enough. And then you do another round and it's too much. You got it. Knowing this, I want to find the calculations. I want to see how to do it for all the different size trees.
Sure. Yeah. And then we'll send it to you if you want. John@tesh.com. CHYM 96.7. I'm John Tesh. Thanks for having us on. Well, this just in. A new study has found the dirtiest spot at the airport, and it's nearly 1,500 times worse than our toilet seats. InsuranceQuotes.com recently conducted swab testing inside 3 major U.S. airports and airline flights. And here we go. They found the self-check-in kiosks were germiest of all the spots they tested, with over 250,000 CFUs. CFU stands for colony-forming units, and it's the number of viable bacteria and fungal cells per square inch. One of these self-check-in kiosks in the Atlanta airport had an astonishing 1 million CFUs. Yikes. By comparison, the average home toilet seat has 172 CFUs. Now, the second germiest spot at the airports, the chair armrests at airline gates. I had no idea. And coming in third was the water fountain button. I used that too. So bottom lining this, when you travel, keep your hand sanitizer in your carry-on and wash your hands after you use the self-check-in, the water fountain, and try to keep your hands off those armrests in the gate waiting area. CHYM 96.7, it's the John Tesh Radio Show. Making you the smartest person in the room, this is the John Tesh Radio Show. And does it seem to you that time is flying by these days? If so, then you're probably a mature adult, because time seems to pass more quickly the older we get. Our lives are more routine than when we're younger. Listen to this. Boston University psychology professor Claudia Hammond wrote the book Time Warped. In her research, she found that our perception of time often boils down to our exposure to new experiences. So, when we do the same thing every day, time zooms by. But when we do new things, whether we're trying new food or traveling to a new place or taking a new class, time seems to slow down. It passes more slowly. You know the feeling? It's because our senses are activated by new experiences, so our memory starts encoding all the new information it's receiving. And kids, or even young adults who are having new experiences all the time, feel that time moves more slowly. But adults who do the same thing day after day, year after year, it feels like time is flying. That's why Dr. Hammond says, if you want to make time slow down, or at least your perception of it, you have to always create new experiences, which is great advice.
IFYL. Intelligence for your life.
And coming up, have you heard about the latest drug-free treatment for preventing Alzheimer's disease? It costs absolutely nothing and doesn't even require a doctor's visit. According to a new study from the USC School of Gerontology, we can have a healthier brain for life just by mastering an easy breathing technique that I'll share with you next. And before we get to that, I want to extend a personal invitation for you to join me in my online prayer community. You can get more details at Tesh.com. This is CHYM 96.7, and I'm John Tesh. All right, here's an amazing piece of intel to share with you. It's now possible to breathe our way to better brain health and potentially prevent Alzheimer's disease while we're at it. Now, this is according to a brand new study from the USC School of Gerontology. The study participants ranged in age from 18 to 80 years old, and the researchers challenged them to try a simple breathing exercise twice a day for a month. The result: when researchers performed health checkups at the end of 4 weeks, they found that all the participants had significantly lower levels of amyloid beta peptides in their bloodstream. That's important because when those peptides clump together, they form amyloid plaque, which is thought to be the main cause of Alzheimer's. So what's this amazing brain-boosting breathing technique? You simply inhale for a count of 5, then you exhale for a full count of 5, and repeat that over and over for 20 minutes. According to this new study, if you do this twice a day, every day, you'll help your body eliminate dangerous amyloid peptides and significantly lower your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Wow. We have to try it, right?
This is the John Tesh Radio Show.
And coming up, why more men are reading romance novels these days. CHYM 96.7. Listen on your smart speaker or chimefm.com. I'm John Tesh. John Tesh back with you, here to tell you that one of the most read book genres is romance novels today. In fact, sales of print romance novels nearly doubled in just the last 4 years. And it's due in part to a new demographic that's interested in reading them: men. According to the Wall Street Journal, men now make up more than 20% of the genre's total readership. What's up with that? Men say they like the relationship advice they're getting from the books. Some men even say it's like a how-to guide for relationships. They also admit they enjoy the happily ever after endings. Plus, a lot of the men depicted in romantic fiction are traditional, manly men, professional athletes, firefighters, small-town heroes, wealthy CEOs who aren't afraid to express their emotions. By the way, University of Texas psychology professor Dr. Kristen Neff says romance novels can be very good for us. They allow us to take a mental break and enjoy something that doesn't require intense intellectual focus. Dr. Neff says this takes our brain out of problem-solving mode, which, as you know, can be exhausting.
The John Tesh Radio Show.
On CHYM 96.7.
You're listening to CHYM 96.7. I'm John Tesh. Well, Kim and I were out and about with the family last night, and I was just eating desserts like crazy. But when it's time for dessert, the scientists at Oxford University say next time, choose something round, like a cookie.
Okay.
They say our brain prefers round desserts. We find them sweeter, and they have all around better flavor. So even if you're making homemade cookies, use a cookie cutter. You'll enjoy the cookies more if they're exactly round.
That is some incredible research. I had no idea.
I know. I've said it before. We're going to start a research company and do.
I mean, if you just handed me a bunch of cookies and I had to tell you which one I like the best, I would love to do that kind of research.
Yep.
But I understand that we like those sort of perfect lines better, and mentally it can be more soothing. But the fact that we find it sweeter and more, we had those cheesecake tarts last night, and then we had a very round cookie.
They were very round. Yeah.
And those were fantastic and satisfying. I'm going to test this. I'm going to make cookies, and I'm going to put some through a cookie cutter, and some are just going to be globs of dough, and we'll see which ones I like.
What's a not round dessert?
You just put a glob of dough on there, or like a Christmas tree cookie cutter,
or a churro.
A churro it's round from one angle.
Oh,
it's like
I'm saying a churro would be a good thing to test against the cookie.
Well, but
it's a stalk.
Yeah, but when you're looking straight at, anyway, we're gonna work on this. We're gonna do our own research. Basically, we're gonna gain 10 pounds. That's the point.
There you go. CHYM 96.7. It's the John Tesh Radio Show. All right, here's another great piece from our workplace files. I have the top excuses employees have been giving these days for being late for work. CareerBuilder.com looked into it and surveyed 800 workers of various ages. They also asked 1,000 human resource managers why employees call in late. Here's what they found. Some bizarre stuff in here. As you can probably guess, traffic was the number one excuse, with half of all incidences of lateness being blamed on it. Traffic. The second most common excuse was oversleeping. That was given 1 out of every 3 times somebody called in late. The rest of the excuses, forgetting something at home, bad weather, and being too tired to hustle out the door. Yes, people use that as an excuse. These are all believable, but some of the more unusual excuses reported in the survey by human resource managers were, one employee said, my coffee was too hot, I couldn't leave until it cooled off. And just so you know, 56% of people would rather be late for work and get yelled at by their boss than do without their morning coffee. I'm in that too. Another employee said they were late because an astrologer warned them of a car accident on the highway, so they took all the back roads, making them an hour late. And then one said, I was here, but I fell asleep in the parking lot. This is the John Tesh Radio Show on CHYM 96.7. Right, my friends, here's your clear skin snack. It's sunflower seeds. This comes from the journal Experimental Dermatology. They found that people with acne typically have low levels of vitamin E and zinc. Vitamin E is a nutrient known for its skin healing properties, as you probably know. Zinc, it regulates our oil production. And sunflower seeds have both of those nutrients. They also have a good amount of selenium, which helps reduce redness and inflammation. All you need is a handful a day to get the appropriate amount of vitamin E and half your requirement of zinc. For the other half of zinc you need, you can try chicken, shellfish, or beans. Again, it's your clear skin snack, sunflower seeds. CHYM 96.7, I'm John Tesh. Thanks for having us on. John Tesh here with you. Let's get you going with an Intelligence for Life power tip. If you need an instant pick-me-up, I want you to swap your next cup of coffee for a cup of peppermint tea. I do this all the time. It is a proven boost for your energy, your focus, and alertness within minutes, by the way. This is from a brand new study we found for you in the International Journal of Neuroscience. Researchers finding that the mint's aroma alone helps stimulate the brain's memory centers, which means it'll clear up any brain fog that's slowing you down and help you better focus on the task at hand. Now, this is similar to what happens when you first bite into a piece of peppermint gum and you get that icy cool sensation in your mouth that wakes you up. And then menthol, which is the active ingredient in mint, is proven to relax muscles and arteries in a way that increases blood flow. The upshot being that if your energy is being dragged down by stress, for example, sipping peppermint tea is the perfect way to get your energy back. For the best results, researchers recommend adding 10 fresh mint leaves to a mug of hot water. Let them steep for 10 minutes and then strain and sip. Kiss your brain fog goodbye with that peppermint tea.
Intelligence for your life.
And coming up, do you sleep with your bedroom door open? 60% of us do, apparently. But according to the UL Firefighter Safety Research Institute, we should all be closing our bedroom doors at night. I'll explain why that could be the difference between life and death in the event of a house fire. CHYM 96.7, it's the John Tesh Radio Show. Quick question for you from our safety files. Do you sleep with your bedroom door open? Most of us do, 60% of us. But according to the UL Firefighter Safety Research Institute, who just released this, we should all be closing our bedroom doors at night. It could be the difference between life and death in the event of a house fire. The safety science organization UL says a closed door will slow the spread of flames, reduce toxic smoke, improve oxygen levels, and decrease temperatures. And all of that is hugely important when you only have 3 minutes or less to escape a fire. That's the average time it takes to escape a house fire. People used to have 17 minutes, but because there are now so many synthetic fabrics used in furniture and home construction, which are much more flammable, plus that desirable open floor plan everybody wants, we now only have 3 minutes or less to get out. Now, most people who sleep with the door open do so because they think it's safer, but it's the exact opposite of what firefighters recommend now. So start making it a habit. Close not only your bedroom door at night, but your kids' room as well.
Live longer with the John Tesh Radio Show.
And coming up, do you know someone who's always bragging about their incredible and amazing significant other on social media? I'll tell you in a moment why researchers at Brunel University say that could be a sign their relationship is in trouble. Stand by. This is CHYM 96.7, and I'm John Tesh. All right, important question to consider. Are you always bragging about your incredible and amazing significant other on social media? Do you know somebody who's doing this? Experts are saying your relationship might be in trouble. This comes from researchers at Brunel University in London. They found that the more people bragged about their partner online, the lower their self-esteem and the more insecure they felt in their relationship. It was almost as if they were using their post to try to convince themselves that the relationship was great and on stable ground. However, there was one couple move on social media that was indicative of a healthy relationship, having a couple shot for your profile photo. A study found that people whose Facebook profile picture included their partner tended to be more satisfied with their relationship. It's because it reinforced their mental image of being part of a team every time they visited their Facebook page. Agree? Disagree? Facebook.com/John Tesh. I'll read your comments on the air.
Intelligence for your life.
Let's talk about the science of the handshake for a moment here, Gib. If you want to make a good first impression, the researchers from the University of Alabama say you have to extend your hand for the handshake first.
Oh.
So they found the person who extends their hand first is seen as more poised and confident. And if you offer your hand with your palm facing up, which in ancient times showed you had no weapons, you'll be perceived as more open and friendly. You said that's your thing. That's like your signature thing is you always stick your, even if I saw you yesterday, when I see you today, you're going to stick your hand out and shake my hand.
And then I also give you a hug. But yes,
it's true. It's true.
But you know, it's one of those things that we don't do as much of in terms of formal communication anymore. We don't do a lot of formal things, but a good handshake with eye contact, it goes a long way. And that's just how I was raised to have a good firm handshake. We reach your hand out, you make good eye contact, and there you go. And I do it to my kids too. Like when I see them, sometimes when I pick them up from school, I give them a handshake. I also give them a hug. I also am like, an affectionate father, but I do the handshake because I think it's fun.
Yeah. Back in the 1950s, all we got was the handshake.
I know. But I'm definitely on the millennial dad side of things. But I do teach my kids a good handshake.
I got two things from my dad. He'd shake my hand when he got home from work, and then he'd say, "Stay out of the bathroom and give somebody else a chance." That was it.
I say that to my preteen daughter all the time now.
That was it. That was all the communication we had. And cut the yard. I'm not paying you for that. I feel better.
It seems like it.
You're listening to CHYM 96.7. I'm John Tesh. Let's talk cravings for a moment. I have a craving for vanilla ice cream on most days. Are you feeling me, or do you have a craving for a cupcake right now? Well, experts say from now on, don't ignore the urge. Pay close attention to your craving. Instead, study it. It'll make you less likely to cave in and actually eat that cupcake. This is according to the International Journal of Neuropsychopharmacology. For the study, volunteers were trying to cut back on alcohol, and those who focused on the physical sensations of their cravings consumed 3 fewer drinks over the next week as compared to people who tried relaxation techniques, for example. Why would focusing on your craving make a difference? The researchers say when you acknowledge a craving, instead of suppressing it, your brain gradually trains itself to view cravings as temporary.
This is the John Tesh Radio Show.
CHYM 96.7. It's the John Tesh Radio Show. Welcome back to Intelligence for Your Life, the Headache Report. If you have a headache, ask somebody to give you a back massage. Massage prompts the release of feel-good neurotransmitters almost instantaneously. It also reduces the production of inflammatory compounds that make pain worse. And the results can last up to 24 hours. And a massage works on a headache whether you get a back massage or a leg or foot massage. It doesn't have to be a deep tissue massage either. Even light pressure will do the trick on the headache.
Intelligence for your life with John Tesh.